Jesus and his friends sailed across the lake. They reached the land of the Gerasenes. This was a different kind of place. It was a land of rocky hillsides. It was known for its tombs, carved into the earth, a place where people buried their dead. But for one man it was more than a graveyard. It was his home, his prison. He did not live in a house. He lived among the cold stones and silent graves, a place of shadows and despair. What a lonely existence this must have been for him. Imagine this man. He was a picture of utter desolation. For a long time he had been possessed by demons. These dark spirits tormented him day and night. He wore no clothes, stripped bare by his affliction, or perhaps by his own tormented hands. He did not live in a house with warmth and comfort. Instead, he roamed the burial caves. He was an outcast, feared by everyone. His life was a constant scream, a painful echo in that desolate place. He was truly lost in the deepest darkness imaginable. People had tried to help him, or perhaps just control him. They had bound him with chains. They had shackled his hands and feet with iron, but the terrible power within him was too strong. He would snap the chains apart. He would shatter the fetters like brittle twigs. No one was strong enough to subdue him. He was driven by the demons into the wilderness, into lonely places where his cries would not disturb the town. He was a man utterly beyond human help, a soul in torment. Think of his days and his nights filled with unimaginable suffering. He would cry out, his voice raw with pain. He would cut himself with sharp stones. His body was scarred, a testament to his inner turmoil. There was no peace for him, no rest, only the constant torment of the unseen forces that controlled him. He was a symbol of humanity at its most broken, a life seemingly without a shred of hope, waiting for a miracle he didn't even know he could ask for. Then a boat landed on the shore. Jesus stepped out. He came from the other side of the lake. He brought with him a light that pierced the gloom. As soon as Jesus set foot on the land, hope arrived. It was a quiet arrival, no grand announcement, just a man stepping onto the dusty ground. But this man was different. He carried a power greater than any darkness. He carried the love of God himself. The air itself must have felt different, charged with a new possibility. The demon-possessed man saw Jesus. He ran towards him. What was in his heart? Was it the demons driving him, or was it a tiny buried spark of his true self? Perhaps a desperate, unspoken plea for help. He fell down before Jesus. Imagine the scene. The wild man, feared by all, now prostrate before this calm teacher from Galilee. He cried out in a loud voice, a voice that was not entirely his own. It was a voice filled with fear and recognition of something greater. The demons inside the man knew who Jesus was. They felt his pure power. They trembled before his holiness. "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God?" they shrieked. They knew his true identity. They knew his authority was absolute. They understood that their time of tormenting this poor soul might be ending. There was no hiding from the Son of God. His presence exposed their darkness. Their desperate cry was a confession of his supreme power over them. "I beg you, don't torture me," the voice continued. It was a strange plea. The demons who inflicted so much torture now begged not to be tortured themselves. They knew Jesus had the power to send them into the abyss, a place of ultimate punishment they dreaded. Their reign of terror in this man's life was challenged. The King of Kings had arrived, and he was not going to let this suffering continue. His compassion was already reaching out. Jesus then asked a simple question, but it was a question full of authority. "What is your name?" he asked. He wasn't asking the man, he was addressing the darkness within. The answer came, "Legion." Not just one demon, but many. Like a Roman legion of soldiers, hundreds, perhaps thousands. This explained the man's incredible, unnatural strength. It explained the depth of his suffering. He was overwhelmed by a multitude of evil spirits. What a heavy burden he had carried for so long. The demons knew their time was up with this man. They pleaded with Jesus earnestly. They begged him not to command them to go into the abyss, that deep, bottomless pit of darkness. They were terrified of that ultimate judgment. They would rather go anywhere else, even into animals. Their fear highlighted Jesus' immense power. He held their fate in his hands. He was in complete control of the situation. His quiet strength was more powerful than all their raging fury combined. Nearby, a large herd of pigs was feeding on the hillside. The demons saw an escape. They begged Jesus to let them enter the pigs, and Jesus gave them permission. What a strange command, yet it showed his purpose. The demons left the man. They went into the pigs. The herd, now possessed, rushed down the steep bank, straight into the lake, and they were all drowned. This dramatic event showed everyone the reality of the spiritual battle and the completeness of Jesus' victory over darkness. Jesus' power was on full display. He did not shout, he did not struggle. He simply spoke, and the forces of hell obeyed him. His compassion was also evident. He cared for this one tormented man, enough to travel to this remote place, enough to confront such a powerful legion of darkness. He valued this one lost soul, and he had the power to reclaim him, to bring him back from the very edge of destruction. This is the heart of our God, powerful and loving. What happened next was truly amazing. The man who had been a terror was now calm. He was sitting quietly at Jesus' feet. The wildness was gone from his eyes. He was dressed, his dignity restored. He was in his right mind. The storm inside him had ceased. Peace had come. Imagine the relief, the quiet joy. He was free, truly free for the first time in years. This is the transformation Jesus brings. He makes broken things new. He brings order out of chaos. When the herdsmen saw what had happened, they were terrified. They ran to the town and the countryside. They told everyone about the demoniac and about the pigs. The people came out to see for themselves. They found the man, formerly possessed, sitting with Jesus, perfectly sane. But instead of rejoicing, they were filled with fear. The power Jesus displayed was overwhelming to them. It was too much for them to understand. So they asked Jesus to leave their region. They missed the miracle because they feared the power. The man who had been healed had a different reaction. He wanted to go with Jesus. He wanted to stay close to the one who saved him. Who wouldn't? He had found his deliverer, his Lord. But Jesus had a different plan for him, a special mission. Return home, Jesus said, and tell how much God has done for you. His testimony was needed right there. Among the people who knew his past suffering, they would see the change. They would hear his story. So the man went away. He proclaimed throughout the whole town. He told everyone how much Jesus had done for him. He became the first missionary to that region, a living example of God's power and mercy. His life became a song of praise, his story a beacon of hope. And this same Jesus offers us hope today. No matter our chains, no matter our past, he can set us free. He can give us a new song. He invites us to share that hope with others. Let his grace touch your life, and then go tell your story.